I was soon called away from Shelter Bay because Sophie's passport had expired, and the only way to get Janna and Sophie to come to the boat in Panama was to fly back to New Orleans, where I would meet Janna and Sophie at the passport office. So we definitely need the passport if you guys are going to go to Panama. We're in the Riverwalk in New Orleans. I had to come back to New Orleans from Panama because I had to be there in person to sign Sophie's form so she could get her passport renewed. Both the mother and the father need to be present, or alternatively, the mother and father need to sign in front of a U.S. notary. The problem was that in Panama, there are no U.S. notaries, and the U.S. Embassy is the only place there is a U.S. notary in Panama, but you need 2 weeks' notice, and the earliest date I could get was July 6th, and Janna and Sophie were flying July 2nd. So the only way to get Janna and Sophie to fly to Panama was for me to fly back to New Orleans so we could renew her passport in person. While we waited for the passport to be processed, we went to the aquarium. We saw the sharks and the penguins. The seahorses and the jellyfish. After our weekend in New Orleans, it was time for me to fly back to Panama alone. Go into the customs office of the Panamanian authorities at Tocumen International Airport in Panama City. I was detained illegally by the customs for 3 hours on June 25th, 2016, between 2:30 and 5:30 p.m., where they seized my passport. And I'm going back because they seized illegally a part for the slow boat, which I purchased in the United States. They have a $2,000 limit, and I showed them the receipt for the part. It was only $900, but they seized it anyway and said I had to come back the next day after I had requested dozens and dozens of time for them not to detain me. But they detained me, they seized my passport, they marched me to immigration, they threatened to jail me, and they threatened to deport me. But immigration would have nothing to do with it because they knew it was a boondoggle. The lead customs officer, or a dueña in this case, was Jose Padilla. But all the customs officers witnessed this and were complicit in my detention. This is my pass to pick up the Balmar 70 amp alternator. We'll see if I can pick it up today. Mr. Padilla said I would be able to pick it up, but I would have to pay a $12 fee and perhaps any taxes due, but they never tried to calculate taxes, nor were they willing to look at my receipts, but they were willing to detain me and threaten me, and I hope I have my liberties when I took the shuttle to the airport, pick up the part, and the rental car. To the third floor to get my visitor card. I'm ready to go down into customs now. It's about 6 a.m. I did get the Balmar alternator, and I got the rental car so I could pick up daily at the kennel. It was a long drive across the canal, and we would drop off the rental car the next day. Budget rent-a-car here that I got from Panama City Airport. So you can get one-way rentals here to Panama City and then catch the bus to the Altos to Shelter Bay. See a cab behind me. Cabs run through here constantly, so you'd be hard-pressed not to find a cab as soon as you wanted one from Cologne 2000. It's a $2 cab ride to Cuatros Altos or to the Cristobal Port campus. So the drop-off point is just behind me, the Ray Supermarket and the Cuatros Altos Mall. Back in Shelter Bay, I worked on getting rid of the rust stains, and I hired someone to splice new Dynema lifelines onto the boat. Dynema lifelines after the other ones were all rusty. These have Johnson fittings. We got the Dynema lifelines and we got the rust stains off the hull. It's a good day here in Shelter Bay. So my fix did not work. It was leaking, and hopefully we're going to replace it with the bladders that Janna is bringing in for luggage today. Intake pipe out. You can see the intake hose and the outtake hose. That's all that we need. I think I'm probably going to get rid of this type of bladder. I did buy one of this type of bladder, but I bought another type of bladder that I think is a little more robust. This type you actually have to cut. The other type, it's pre-cut, the fittings are on, and I think they'll be better than the ones that you cut. Thanks for watching the lost episode 10 of season 1 of Slow Boat Sailing. This episode was available to patrons at least 3 months prior to the general YouTube audience. Thanks to everybody who was a patron of the Slow Boat Sailing podcast when this came out and is today. Patrons get all kinds of great rewards, including early looks at videos, bonus episodes of the Slow Boat Sailing podcast, free audiobooks, and patrons get a chance to sail on the slow boat in the South Pacific. This video was recorded in June and edited on Mardi Gras 2017.
Happy Mardi Gras!